When I was younger, I kind of felt like, I don't know, like we'd have like a lot of kids at sometimes, like more like sometimes you'd have like 2 or 3 or emergency kids, right? And I'd say when I was younger, I had a bit of a harder time with it than I do like when I got older. And it was just being young, and I kind of wanted to do stuff with my parents, but we had all these kids all the time. But now it's like I've grown up and I've started to like realize like the good that we're doing for these kids, like giving them a good place and stuff, and kind of just participating more and being around them as I got older. Like I kind of take up like a brother role. So like with like the kids that come in, especially if they're like younger boys or something, I try to like, like get them comfortable and like just play around with them and get them happy for a bit. And yeah.
Keenan's the Nerf gun champ.
Yeah.
We have lots of Nerf guns, so he does that. He reels them all in, and yeah, we find arrows in the most annoying places. But
First of all, nothing ever happened in our house regarding fostering without their approval or without a conversation. Never. And when we adopted, that same conversation happened with them. Okay, here's the deal. We have 2 little boys. They're about to go for adoption. What do you guys think? We've always had their support. Always. That's never been a question.
I never tried to, I would say, make them more comfortable. It was just like any person, the one thing I was raised to do is treat people the way you want to be treated. So I don't think I went out of my way. It's treat them as best we could. I was at home often. I was working, and I just started playing basketball and volleyball and played hockey the year before that. So yeah, I was rarely home, to be honest. I don't remember the exact days where we first got the children in the house, but it was just like I always wanted a younger sibling. I used to always bug them about having younger siblings, which I never had until they started fostering. So I don't think I did anything different than just be myself personally.
I think it's really important that you look at your own children. I have a 9-year-old who has anxiety really bad, and having children around her age is a huge struggle. There's a lot of prep work when we invite a child into our home and have a child come into our home. There's a lot of communication with her and trying to reassure her that she's not leaving, she's not going anywhere. You have to look at your own children and find out what their needs are and then go from there. Because we're a family, we're a team. There's 4 of us. I have an adoptive daughter. I adopted my first foster child that I ever had. We adopted her at 2. And so we're a team. We're a team of 4. And we all come together and we prepare everybody for this new person coming into our home, this child coming into our home, to make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome. That's a huge thing for us, is to make children feel welcome in our home.
I don't think it comes to fostering I don't think it comes down to a foster child and a biological child. I think it comes down to any family parenting multiple kids treats their kids differently. And so you just adapt and meet the needs of each of the kids, whether foster or not.
Yeah, multiple parenting styles, right?
Yeah.
So what we do is we adjust our parenting style based on the child.
They never treated us any differently. We always got treated fairly the same. And I have a really special moment where when I was younger, I went outside to play in the winter, and I was out there playing with my brother, and the foster children came out. They were teenagers, and they came out, and we built Bert and Ernie and igloos, and then we went tobogganing, and we just had such a great time. And they included themselves with us. They didn't have to come out, they were teenagers, but they did. And that was so special to me, and we really got to bond and attach.
Russell and Dale, dads, whatever you want I call them, they always treated them like family. And even now when I talk to the younger siblings, I call them siblings. In some cases I feel more like a dad in some, because I changed some of their diapers. Like the kids were, I never had an issue taking them playing. I remember picking up my little sister and everyone thinking I was a dad, and it didn't bug me. Family's family. It doesn't matter if you're 5 years apart or 30 years apart. You take care of your own. That's how we were raised. And you know, if some things were a little different, did I get yelled at? Probably a little bit more than some of my siblings. Definitely. Did I deserve it a lot more than my siblings? Definitely. I could tell you some stories, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you've been in the house 1 day or 10 years. If you're in the house, you're part of the household. That's just how we act.
You're always adapting, so it doesn't, to each child, it also depends if they have family involved on how you parent them, right?
When it's finding the buy-in too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your parenting style for each child, but then you also have to find where you get the buy-in from the child, for the child to actually play nice and to just be part of the system, right? So it's definitely a juggling act at times.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's different strokes for different folks.
My mom, when she fostered younger children, and I was older. So it was like I was the older and they were the younger. So I got to kind of be the bigger role model for them and help. I did a lot of helping with my parents with the children in our home. And that, for me, was a very soothing, that really helped me bond with them, if you will. Yeah.
We kind of adjusted our fostering intake on our kids' ages. So when Keenan started being a teenager, I kind of switched over to babies because babies were easier to grab and go so that I could be there and meet his needs. When he was younger, I did bigger kids. Just because I think we had older kids before when Keenan arrived, we had a 9, 10, and 11-year-old.
Made it a lot easier because Keenan plays sports, so he plays lacrosse and everything, so it's a lot easier to have younger children and then be able to do the things and bring them along to the trips and stuff like that. So sort of try to make sure that Keenan got the balance of, you know, being part of a foster family, but also being, you know, getting to grow up with his family and get the opportunities that he should have as well. So
we always took younger kids, which I'm very happy with, because then my kids were the bosses, the teachers, and
What not to do.
this is what not to do. And also, hey, listen, this is what I want you to turn out like. I want you to turn out to be a good citizen. I want you to turn out to be like these kids and guide them to be better people. These kids coming in from foster care have so many challenges. They have so much trauma that they're trying to deal. Just being removed from their families, it's the trauma. And so trying to build the best way to be supportive of them, guide them so that they become close to their brothers, which they all are now. All the kids are relatively close, even though there's a big age group. So for us, that's the main piece. What we would tell anyone, build those connections. The other thing, if you're coming out of the foster care system, I would always say keep relationships with social workers, with team leaders, with doctors, with teachers, because those will be your saving graces as you move into and transition into the adoption world. And they will also help you as you try to transition and navigate through the biofamilies.
Yeah, fostering in isolation you can't. You have to reach out to a support team and other foster parents, and you guys can communicate. I reach out to other foster parents and talk to them regularly, and just to make sure they're doing okay. Just, hey, how you doing? How's things? We'll meet at the park. You know, I'll phone some foster parents up and say, hey, what are you doing? You want to come to the park? So don't foster in isolation.
And fostering just isn't about the kids, it's about their parents as well. And you know, my kids the last 2 Christmases have given up their Christmas morning or Christmas dinner to be with our kids' parents. We've opened our house to them to be part of it. That's a part of fostering I don't think that anybody really acknowledges, is that when kids move, we don't stop. We're still there. We're still involved with their families. And right now I'm involved with like 2 moms and still the kids don't live with me, but I still, care about them, and the kids are still part of our family even though they don't live with us.
The parents know this child the best, and getting them to talk to you and getting a relationship with the bio families is huge. Having those relationships with the bio families, whether it be parents, grandparents, that is really huge. And I never finish. When they go back home, I'm always involved. Like, if they want me to, right? If they want to keep talking to me, which they usually do, they phone me for advice. They phone me for, if they're struggling, and I'm there to listen and help them in any way that I can.
Very worth it.
You might cry.
I think the experience that Keenan's got from it actually is probably going to open up a lot more of the world to him, because of, like, I think his empathy and his understanding of people's situations, like, sometimes I question, like, does he get it? And then he'll do something and I'm like, oh wow, like, very, like, way beyond his years, right? As far as his response to some things.
His crisis management skills are beyond, like, our university level.
I got memories with all of them. There was days like when my dad's went, for long trips, I'd be the parent at home and dealing with 7 or 8 kids at 20-something years old. Definitely brought some great memories, some bad memories, but that's part of being a family. Everything's not perfect, and to pretend that there is something as perfection, you're dreaming. So, but it was definitely a way to grow up, that's for sure.
My daughter has anxiety really bad, and it's hard when she has some learning disabilities, anxiety. It's been a long road, and having 3-4 children in your home, plus trying to juggle your own, it's a struggle. So I will keep going until I'm ready. I'm not ready yet, because I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy what I do.